Maybe this will become a feature story on the Boyertown Area Expression. I wonder if I know somebody that can help make that happen. Speaking of which, we do have somebody backstage.
Hi.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
We were just talking about you.
What were you saying?
That maybe if I knew somebody.
Yeah, I heard that part. Something about your
help me.
play-by-play money-making entrepreneurial
So,
opportunity. You have to explain it to me because I have no idea what you're talking about.
that's what I was giving everybody an update on some of the things I was working on over the weekend.
Well,
This
good.
is the new features on the website. Say, for example, the Legion team
Okay.
hosting the state tournament.
And I can put you in touch with someone immediately who could do that for you. Okay, so it's done. I'll be in touch.
So what they can do is purchase time
Okay.
on our radio network. Remember WPAZ used to air the Bears?
Yes.
That's my goal, is to again air the Bears on Mastiff Media. The sports network.
And folks can access that
on their phone.
On their phone. Awesome.
They'll be able
Okay.
to listen on the phone.
Well, let's try and do that. That sounds good.
So, yeah.
Now, are there any, yeah. No. Okay, yeah. I get it.
What was your question? You said, are there any?
So do you have a payment schedules created for
looking into that
you can share?
My whole thing is, especially for somebody like Boyertown baseball and the football team and the school district, really.
Right.
I'm not talking about tax dollars. Look at all the ads that are out on that outfield fence or around the track. Throw 10 or 20 bucks into each one and say, by adding that money, you're also going to be over the broadcast of.
Okay. Gotcha. I understand.
If they look not to, nope, I don't have the 10 or 20 bucks a month. Okay.
I wonder, have to do some connections, and you will learn from there how to, or with whom to speak about those accounts. Because I don't know exactly how that works. My husband may not know, my husband may know, but I do not know.
That's fine.
How that works. But there's also the Pine Forge Athletic Association. I can connect you with that, and you can, so that's two. Boyertown's American Legion and the Pine Forge Athletic. That I can get, and you'll have to make your pitch.
Easy. Yep.
Okay.
The other thing I need to work out on my end is which app. Well, the one thing that I would need to work out on my end. What is the phone? Like, I use something called Mix. That is a program that is on my desktop that takes my voice from the microphone and sends it out to the radio. That's called encoder.
Okay.
I need to figure out what encoder is available for somebody
to
put on their phone.
Yeah. Well, you'll do that research. Meanwhile, I'll give you the connections, and when you're ready, you'll give it a shot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How's that?
Yep.
Okay.
Very cool.
I can do that.
So how was your 4th?
Very quiet, which was my favorite kind of holiday.
How did you pull out
aside from the fireworks?
Yeah, I was going to say, there's fireworks. How did you pull quiet?
It just annoys me because it annoys the dog.
Oh, yeah.
We had to break out her thunder shirt again and put it on her until she was feeling safe once again. But getting her outside for the night to get her settled for the night so that we could all go to sleep was a trick. But she was a brave little girl, and she got herself out there on the lawn and did her business, and
that
and scurried and scurried back into the house. Such a brave dog.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking
Such a brave dog.
outside for the night. You don't exactly strike
No,
me
no, no, no.
as outside.
Yeah, now
Right.
to get her
Right.
relief so that she would sleep well inside beside my
Yeah.
bed, which is where she spends her evening hours, shall we
Yeah.
say.
Nature.
But yeah, so it was quiet. I spent a lot of time in my pool. But funny story, since you
We love funny
asked.
stories.
So yeah, well, it's funny for
That's
us,
all right.
right? Maybe not for anybody else, but I'll tell the story anyway. But I decided my pool filter needed cleaning. And of course, I decided that it was a beautiful day, July 4th around here. The humidity was not awful. It was a beautiful, sunny, kind of dry humidity day. So I decided that we would clean the pool filter, which is a job for the three of us. Okay. Like I hold the instructions. I'm the pool caretaker.
Wait a minute.
Jeff is the
I was going to
muscle.
say, who are the three of us first?
I'm
Okay.
going there.
All
I'm
right.
going there. I have the instructions, because I take care of the pool. Jeff has the muscle in order to be able to lift up the cylinders that are full of water and debris, and that's heavy. Paul used to be able to do that. He's not so fond of doing that anymore since Jeff's around and can help us. And then there's Paul, who has cleaned the filter when it went underwater 5 or 6 years ago. Um, I depend on him to know what he's doing, because I'm not the least bit mechanical minded, and I just need somebody to assure me that they know what they're doing and everything will turn out all right. Okay.
Right.
So we got everything, we got the filter, the cartridges clean. I mean, that's Paul's job. He can sit and hose them off, and he kind of enjoys doing that, because you can see the effects of the cleaning immediately. Anyway, he does a spectacular job because he's very fastidious. Okay. And of course, Jeff is there to do the heavy lifting and whatnot, and grab the cartridges out and put them back and so forth. And I'm just kind of there supervising, but not supervising, because the men in my life don't want to be supervised. I think you might understand that.
That's called being men.
Anyway, so we are putting
not,
things back together
it's
again.
Not the men,
what?
It's not the men in your life. You can just leave it at
what?
Men.
Men.
Straight, gay.
I was going there.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't want to, I didn't want to share a trope that may not be totally true anymore. Anyway, so we're putting it back together again and reading the instructions carefully, and kind of confused, even though Paul's now holding the instructions and he's the one who has cleaned the pool and put things back together 6 or 7 years ago, 8 or 10 or 12, 14 times when the pool went underwater. Anyway, so we couldn't quite understand. We couldn't quite remember how to do it. So at one point, it was like, okay, well, turn this switch this way. No, turn it that way. And all of a sudden, when Jeff turned it, I mean, the bleeder valve blew up and, and just flew off the top of the filter. And there's water spurting out of there like a fire hose. Well, I turned the motor off, which of course shut the water down, but then we had to refind the bleeder valve, which had, like I said, blasted off from the top of the filter.
Oh, well, you mean like bottle rocket blade, like the voice? Oh, yes! Wow.
Oh my God. So anyway, we're looking for the bleeder valve everywhere. Ross, we spent 2 hours, hands and knees, looking through the shrubbery, thinking it got stuck in the shrubbery, thinking it was in a pile of dead leaves and debris around. 2 hours we looked for that stupid bleeder valve. At one point, Paul said, okay, Jane, you're going to have to get dressed and go back to the pool company and get ourselves a new bleeder valve. I said, Paul, it's the 4th of July.
Right.
They're not open. And so we went back again to hunting through the poison ivy,
Oh, I
hunting
think I've
through,
been poisoned.
I mean, okay, so everybody, but I have to say, everybody on the team was amazing. There was not one complaint, not one whine. We were just busily looking for this stupid bleeder valve. Well, finally, I said, okay, to myself, I said, let us look one more time around the filter, around the motor, around the, and there it was in the simplest place. I took it and showed it to Paul, and you should have seen his face. He was so happy.
Nice.
So he won't ever forget it. I was the heroine of the day, and it was nice. So we found the bleeder valve. We put things back together again, and the pool is lovely. And I've been floating in it ever since. Reading Time magazines. Yesterday, I read a whole Time magazine while I was floating in the pool. It takes some kind of hours to do that, but that's my 4th of July. That was the excitement for me.
That's not a bad.
That was it. That was it.
So
there.
The Boyer. What are the 3 days or whatever that are at the park?
Well, fun days.
That's it. Yeah. Isn't that also topped off with a fireworks extravaganza?
That's the first weekend in June.
Right, but doesn't that also have fireworks?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but this year they had a laser light show, no fireworks.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Pottstown still do the fireworks?
You know, I'm not exactly 100% sure about this year, but I have read in our local papers that they don't have the funding to pay the insurance for future years of fireworks. So there may have been some this year. I don't follow fireworks. It's not I mean, I love seeing them and all that kind of stuff, but I know what it does to animals.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm not a fan. I can't be a fan I can't support it any longer because I watch my poor puppy just shiver and shake for hours.
Yep.
So, and know that lots and lots of other dogs are doing the same thing. But we had a lot of fireworks around in our neighborhood.
Yeah, too. Shady is still kind of new to it. And she's also wrapping up her second heat, her second menstrual cycle.
Oh.
So to say that she can be a little bitchy right now.
Are you having her spayed? Tell me you're having her spayed.
Yeah. But the vet said not until after her second one, which I don't know why or what that means, but okay. That's why she's the vet and I'm not.
Yeah. I did not know that.
It was right on schedule. She just turned 1 and she started bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
So, she just turned 1 to the best of, we don't know what her actual birth date is.
Right. I understand.
End of June somewhere. So we created, I think the 26th or the 27th because it's midway between my mom's, which was June 15th, and my dad's, which is tomorrow.
Oh, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we did halfway in between the two. And right on schedule to that was when she started bleeding for round 2. Mm-hmm. So the floors look nasty. I wear slides. I'm mopping sometimes every day. And for the past couple of days, I'm just like, she's got to be wrapping up.
Right.
Let it go and do it one and done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of today's post episode, post game show. When
back to the mopping. Yep.
With the Both Sides Now episode, and then also create a 2-hour episode for like Radio X and all the replays that we do. I need to call the vet
and get her scheduled. I
need to call my skin doctor because you were saying about you were digging around in poison ivy. I've got something that looks like it all over my forearms and my shins. And I'm tired of going through all the cotton swabs and alcohol and rubbing down with that. It's kind of sort of working, but not enough.
Yeah.
And it's also allergy season. So I'm
Ah.
rubbing my eyes,
Aha. Gotcha.
and that just nothing good is going to come from having poison and allergies at the same
Right.
time.
Right. Right.
It's going to
Right.
kill my eyes, and I'm going to be screwed.
Yeah. Oof. Yay. Yuck.
So,
Anyway, so you've got some doctor scheduling to make for
yes.
you and
And the
your little lady. Yep. Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, things are pretty, what do you say? Things are pretty moving along
yeah,
here in Boyertown with all the events that I'm responsible for. And I have promised my people I am going to hide for at least 6 weeks because they must be sick of seeing me. But people are people are contacting me for the scavenger hunt maps, and I hear that there's a lot of walking around town doing the bear fever hunt for in-town bears. And like I said, people are emailing me for the out-of-town scavenger hunt or out-of-town bear scavenger hunt that Mel Roth created. So, I'm feeling really good about all of that. And another business just in the past couple days created another project in which people can become engaged in creating their own postcards that feature bears, wouldn't you know, in celebration of the 20th anniversary of bear fever. So, the fever is still catching. People are still getting bear fever, and
mhm.
and I'm trying to stay out of people's faces because I've been in them for months. We have one more project to really get moving that was supposed to have been installed a week or so ago, and that is the TV monitor in the window of Studio B art gallery that shows selfies of people with their favorite bear fever bears. The coordinator for that part of the project, one of her sons is headed for boot camp later this week, and the other son is headed for college later this week. So she's been busy having parties, going farewell parties for her children, and negotiating that whole empty nest feeling that happens when your babies fly away. So hopefully this week at some point we'll be able to get that, or next week at the very latest we'll be able to get that installed. And that for me is the second to the last thing from the project that will happen. The other thing is the booklet that Diane O'Sullivan is creating that she intends to release October the 7th, not October, excuse me, August the 7th somewhere. But she's doing that at Chestnut Knoll and not at Studio B. So I'm not in charge. I just get to go and
Is that the
applaud.
one with all the bears in it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, she's doing the in-town bears this year. She'll do the rest of them.
Wow.
Then chapter 3 will be, because I got a check yesterday. Well, not yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, but Saturday. Yesterday. The sponsor's son came in to deliver a check for a bear fever bear he wants to have created for its Martin Stone quarry. So that'll be the next
Yeah.
one that's happening. But there are
They don't have
2
one yet.
already. Pardon me?
Martin Stone Quarry doesn't have one yet.
Not yet. No.
They're always pretty active in the community.
Yep. Yep.
I would have
Anyway,
thought they had
so
one a while.
I've got to
Wow.
get a check out to cow painters now that I have one, and order. I allowed the fabricators to know what I wanted, and I would be sending a check. So I need to get that out there sometime today.
Nice.
So we can move that along. Anyway, so that's what's happening here in Boyer. There's a lot of activity. I think the last time we talked, I was ecstatic about story time on the train and the art activity at the studio and the writer's reception. Everything went really well there. So, like I said, I'm trying to hide now. I have other things to do, like floating in my pool.
I was just going to ask, do you do like for like people that you've worked closely with on various projects? Do you do like a cocktail pool party?
We
One last
do,
time you have to
yeah,
deal with me, come over to the pool.
right. We do assorted kinds of things like that. Yeah. Yeah. And who was it? Leslie was just talking about, having a little do for the writers, and you're welcome to attend.
You mean like
Yeah.
for the
Having a little pool party at her place for our writers for the
she has a
Boyertown
pool
area
also?
expression. Yeah.
She has a pool also?
Yes.
What I know because of what her son does, you don't want to say exactly where, but what general area does she live in? Is
Gilbertsville.
she close to Boyertown? Oh, she's in Gilbertsville.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's in a development in Gilbertsville, and there are several of them. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Cool. Well, good. Um, so, question I had for today.
Okay, here we go. All right, Ken. By the way, Ken, hi, hi,
Well,
hi,
yeah,
hi.
you haven't seen any of the. I haven't seen any of the comments. Let's go through that quick. Um, so, Ken saying, "Good morning. How was your weekend, Yergz?" Just as loud, unfortunately, as Jane's. Um, I live in rural Florida, and with the fourth being, I think the only way it could have been worse is if the fourth was on a Thursday instead of a Friday.
Ah,
Then it would have been a 4-day weekend instead of a 3-day weekend.
right.
And because if people would have just, bagged Friday also. And this area, like every year, the 4th of July, this doesn't sound very patriotic, but the 4th of July has become my least favorite holiday.
I get it.
For
Yep.
the same reason, in that I watch what now also Shady and Matrix go through. I worried about Matrix trying to hold his bladder and not being able to, like in the middle of the night. So we just go for a walk at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
When we know that legally they can't be shooting fireworks anymore.
Right.
And with the way who some of these people are who are shooting the fireworks, let's just say they don't want to draw any undue attention to their household.
Right.
So 10:30, 11 o'clock, the fireworks go off.
Mm.
And that's when I'm able to take the kids out for the first time since sundown.
Right.
We get walks during the day if it's not too hot. And thankfully, it's also been very rainy this past week.
Ah, okay.
So that was key. That was really really important for keeping the temperature down and being able to get outside while it was still daylight. Because once the sun goes down, the fireworks go up.
Yeah. Even before, I mean, they're practicing, making sure
Yeah,
everything
I don't get
is.
that. Yeah,
So there's no, oh my God, that we're safe until it gets dark. No, we're practicing. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so Ken says, sounds like I
says
have
good
met
morning.
my people bandwidth for the week. I had hoped so, but
Well, it also sounded like you're acknowledging that the Boyertown area has met their Jane bandwidth for the week. Like you said,
yes,
you've had enough of me. I'm
I
going to go
think
away
so.
for 6
I'm
weeks.
absolutely positive about that. And one of the reasons I'm sad some of our projects aren't quite finished because I wanted to be totally out of their faces for months. But I do at this time, Ken, I do entertain my friends whom I do not see on a regular basis. For example, there's a younger woman coming tomorrow. We have a once a year meeting around on my deck in which we catch up. She is just lovely. She's one of the loveliest people I have ever met. She's a writer, and she's an amazing writer. I love her stuff. Her name is Heather. And so she's coming tomorrow for our annual visit. And then later in the week, or then the next day, I'm going out to do a podcast episode, a Be Inspired podcast episode at a local church with a group of women who create quilts to donate to various organizations. So one of the women at the church absolutely, has been after me for a little bit to come and do a podcast episode with these women whom she is so inspired by, and she knows that my audience will be inspired by them as well. So that's Wednesday, and then on Friday, one of my most prolific writers, John Yamris, he and I are doing yet another podcast episode together, just because we haven't done one for a year or so. I have been recording podcasts. This is my 6th season. And I believe he and I have done at least one podcast each year since I started it. So we're catching up. He has a book out recently, something about Captain Beefworth. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's really an unusual book in which he talks about how out there artists need to be in order to be known. And so I'm eager to talk with him about that. So it's a busy week, still lots of people involved in it. I was really hoping not to see anybody all week, but I kind of have narrowed down, some of my engagements with folks so that I'm out of their faces and they're really out of mine.
It's gotta. I'm just going to say it. It's Boyertown.
Yeah.
Like I'm dealing with somebody who loves you, who we've talked about before.
Okay.
Who's a Trump supporter.
Got it. Okay. I know who you mean.
And he's on my one post right now where I posted a picture of Donald Trump's ear.
I saw that. Yeah.
He supposedly shot.
Yeah.
And I'm alleging the possibility that the assassination attempt was faked.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, what about the 2 people who died?
Mm-hmm.
One of which was the shooter. I'm like, that's my point. 2 people died for something that wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, part of what you're dealing with, for as much as Studio B is apolitical, and so much of what you do is apolitical, you and I are not.
Right.
And everybody is political, whether they like it or not. I've got next door neighbors that claim to not discuss politics. Then how do I know that they're Trump supporters?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't discuss politics?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gotta where I know Boyertown fancies themselves a conservative community.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the post or the comment that I made back to this classmate of mine. 2 years ago this month, I made one of my first viral statements on Up the Middle.
Ooh.
So I thought we'd kind of bring it back a little bit and repurpose it. You can be a Republican. You can be a conservative and not be an asshole. You've got other options besides Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. You're just not using them. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering if quietly you're suffering, for lack of better terms. Or maybe that's a good way to describe it. That dealing with some of these other people, but giving that smile that I know you would still give anyway to that student in the classroom that drives you nuts, but it's
you still love them. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kind of hoping for a heat wave so that you've got nothing else to do but float in the pool all day?
No.
Really?
Nope. The people I deal with on a regular basis are lovely people whom I love,
Nice.
period. There's no fake smiles going on.
Good for you. I need to borrow your Rolodex.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of people, and I don't know if you follow me on Facebook at all, my
I do.
personal account,
Yeah. Hmm.
but there are a couple of folks on there who are uh, loyal maggots, shall we say,
Yeah.
and have had and have had a few posts that Amy has felt what do you say, responsible to respond to. That was a terrible constructed sentence, but forgive me
That's
for.
right. Yeah.
But and I was thinking, because she has gotten caught up in chatting with them, that maybe it's time for me to block them or delete them from my account and so forth. I mean, I maintain, just as my husband does, a need to stay connected with every side of the argument. And
Yeah.
so
That's
I don't I
good.
don't I try. I I have some folks who need to tell me how stupid leftists and libs are and all that kind of stuff, and how that MAGA is winning and all that kind of stuff. But I try not to hide. I try not to be an ostrich. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to hear that. I need to know what's going on. I need to do that. I try not to engage in a confrontational way. In fact, the last gentleman with whom I engaged politically, he just said MAGA is winning. Yeah, and I, as I said to him, I hope you're right. I hope that the current administration will do wonderful things for the country, and I will be happy to acknowledge that I have been wrong all this time. But frankly, I don't see it happening. And I can only hope that if things turn out the way I fear that they will, that you will be able to say, oops, I goofed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And but
That's
see,
the only way I
here's where
can
the common
engage
sense
right
comes
now.
into it.
Yeah.
Here's where the common sense comes into that. And that gets to our question for today. Which one of us, pro or anti MAGA, is really going to be on the right side of history?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we learn all this in Trump 1.0?
Things hadn't fallen apart totally in Trump 1.0. And
But
people were
they
still,
did.
in my opinion, enamored with
Yeah.
the bully, with the guy who could evoke hatred, resentment,
Yeah.
someone to blame, just like in Nazi Germany, right?
Right. I was
They were
just thinking that
still,
because,
what do you say? They were still fulfilled uh, emotionally by that resentment and hatred, it,
mm,
as a way to find something to blame for their unhappiness. And that started in Trump 1.0.
yeah, oh, she froze. Well, I'm actually pulling up. Um, hopefully she'll come back there. Uh, hopefully, I hope it's not me.
And
There she is.
yeah, I got an alert that my connection was down,
Okay.
but hopefully has been restored. But yeah, so in my husband's language, people need to touch the stove. And
Yeah.
so we're all in it now. And as I was reading this morning, it's going to take, if in fact we can get out of this, it's going to take a generation. And I was telling my friend Bob Wood, I would have hoped for, just for selfish reasons, one more one or one and a half or two more elections, you know, but I get to witness this, so it's kind of interesting. It's kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
um, it, it's interesting, and it's also, I think it's disappointing. I don't know if you could see it, but I showed a parade or a rally or whatever it's called
Trump's
that
America.
was in
Yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky over the weekend, and I think that's why there were no ICE raids over the weekend, was because they were all at this rally. Seriously, I think right there you're looking at the ICE agents that
Mm-hmm.
are doing
And
these
in
hidden.
Kentucky, huh? I wonder
Yeah.
if they had a barbecue with what's his name? Is it who's in Kentucky? Lindsay or Mitch?
Kentucky is Mitch McConnell.
Mitch. Maybe they had a barbecue with Mitch. Yeah.
Lindsey Graham is South
After the
Carolina.
parade. Yeah, after the parade.
No, isn't Kentucky Rand and Ron Paul?
I get confused. Sorry.
Oh, I know.
Are you going to look it up?
I am, because that's going to bug
me. Yeah.
Mitch McConnell
Me too.
is 83, first of all. So
okay.
Problem. Born in Alabama, but that's not. He is from Kentucky since 1985. Yeah. And then Rand Paul is I think he's also in Kentucky. He's also in Kentucky. So Kentucky got 1 for and 1 against the big beautiful betrayal last week, because I know Rand Paul was against it. But yeah, so that's the modern day Klan right there. Is all
yes,
that
it is. Yep.
They're not Proud Boys. They're not Oath Keepers. They're not whatever the hell it is they call themselves.
What is that white thing they're carrying?
That's the back. I saw that too, and I freaked.
Yeah.
But it's the back of that banner this is the replay. That's the back of that banner that you see right there. Deport invade. Patriotfront.us.
Wow.
I was on that website last night.
Were you?
Okay. What is their message?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the KKK did a rally at Philadelphia and Reading Avenue in Boyertown.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't remember if it was when I was still at North Coventry or when I was at the Secret Service. But I thought, you know what? This is intel. Let me get one of their pamphlets. You, as an English teacher, would have gone crazy.
Well, they're handouts. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Their poor grammar, the poor grammar, the misspellings. Oh, it was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Their website doesn't have that, because there's a section where there's all these frequently asked questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we wear masks?
Mm-hmm.
What is our stance on race, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. It's all in video. It's a well-dressed guy standing there speaking to you, who's like the one remotely smart guy in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying about how this is to maintain our privacy for First Amendment rights. And I'm like, I don't get how the mask and your pride, nobody's going to hunt you down. You're the one doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to laugh at you because you can't even match one pair of khakis to the guy aside of you. Everybody's got different shades of brown.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm still trying to figure out what the shields are for. Why are we carrying a shield? Are we Captain America there?
I suppose.
Or are we off to? I mean, you're the one causing the riot. I don't know why you need your Little League riot gear. But anyway, that's Trump's America. There it is. Who is going to be on the right side of history? How does this end? And what makes you say that?
I don't know.
My hopes is that it continues in the same trajectory as the three before it.
The three?
I refer to the Trump administration as the Fourth Reich. Hitler referred to his regime as the Third Reich.
As the third.
A Reich is a kingdom or realm. Mm-hmm. And he labeled his the third because it followed the German Empire of the 1800s. And before that was the Holy Roman Empire, were the Reichs that were through Western Europe, and as he counted them. Obviously, there were kingdoms before and after and to this day, but those were the three as he saw them. Each one was progressively shorter than the previous. The Holy Roman Empire was roughly 2,000 years. But the German Empire was only about 40 or 50 through like 1840s or 50s to 1890s.
Okay.
And then the Third Reich was what, 1935, 1939, something like that, to 1945, essentially with the end of World War II.
Okay.
Now, did it fully die? There's a show that I've spoken about before, and I would absolutely encourage everybody to watch. You can find it on YouTube now. It was originally, I think it was originally on the History Channel, and then it was on Amazon for a while too, which probably still is on Amazon if our listeners subscribe to that. A show called Hunting Hitler was a 3-season show produced by the History Channel and hosted by a former CIA case officer by the name of Bob Baer, Baer. So there's another bear for you.
They were all over. Yeah.
That was an excellent show. The guys he had that were on that show with him, who were doing, at least appeared to be doing, a live investigation. Obviously, there's people working behind the scenes and so on, but these people were doing a lot of that behind the scenes work. One of the guys was an Army Ranger who was known for having killed one of the world's worst terrorists. It wasn't bin Laden; it was somebody else. But this is the guy who hunted that person down. Another one of his guys was a former supervisor of a United States Marshal Task Force, who was a fugitive task force. So, again, somebody looking for somebody else who that's his job, is finding somebody who's trying to hide. Investigative journalists who spent their life, hunting Nazis. One guy was a prosecutor who prosecuted Nazis when they were found, so on and so forth. Through their 3 seasons, they've convinced me that Hitler did not die in the bunker. and that he made it out of Berlin. If that story isn't true, if the history as we know it is true, that Hitler died in the bunker, was cremated on site, nobody else saw him, blah, 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 which stinks by itself, but whatever. If that was true, that he died of a gunshot wound, then why is the only skull from that crime scene to have been medically confirmed to be a woman? It was his skull.
Whoa.
And why, if he was dead, was every NATO and allied intelligence service in the world still looking for him 15 years later?
Huh. I had no
He's
idea.
Dead. Why are we looking for him?
Well, he is by now.
Now we can write him off. But that's the point.
Yeah.
Did he concede that the European theater was not going to go the way he wanted it? And as such, he had a plan B.
Entirely
that
possible.
Plan B was already set up. Whether he won Europe or not, there was a small army waiting for him in Argentina. So much so that there are still towns in Argentina that to this day speak nothing but German.
Wow.
And that was going to be the Fourth Reich. Officially, it never came to pass. But when you look at everything that Donald Trump has done, it's an exact mirror of Hitler and other fascist leaders, some more modern, like Erdogan from Turkey, came to power legally. Hitler came to power legally. Just not what he ended with. The product was not what was intended.
Huh.
And Trump's done the same thing.
So you think there were playbooks in Argentina that DJT was able to locate and make a plan from? That was a poorly constructed sentence, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's why we ad lib. So we have that
from which he made a plan is the way I should have said.
I would have noticed. You're fine.
I know.
You know,
only an English teacher. Yeah. Once one, always one. What can I tell you? Yeah.
Aside from the fact that Trump literally, as we know from his now dead ex-wife, shocker,
buried in a golf course
with an unmanicured grave. That's classy.
Oh.
She said on numerous occasions that he frequently read Mein Kampf. Like, why? Can't you read Tony Robbins? If you want to be a successful person, you got to read Mein Kampf. And he denied having anything to do with the Project 2025.
I was just going to say that.
A 900-page document where his name is mentioned one in every 3 pages. One time every 3 pages. He's mentioned more than 300 times in a 900-page document. If I mentioned that many times in any document.
But, it wouldn't surprise me that he knows nothing about it. I mean, he doesn't read. Right.
Nope.
I mean, people can write about him without his knowledge.
But here's the problem.
He can say literally, I know nothing about this project and be
bullshit.
Truthful. because he probably did not read
Bullshit.
it, maybe heard
Bullshit.
about it.
What
Come
is?
on, you don't think he read
I don't think he read
900
900
pages,
pages.
do you?
No, I don't think he read it, but he knows about it and he supports it. Here's why.
Well,
What
yeah,
do we
that I
know?
agree with. Oh,
What do we know
absolutely.
about Donald
Yeah,
Trump? He is a control freak.
but he lies.
That's it. But he's a control freak.
Yeah,
So you're telling
yeah.
me that a 900-page document that has his name in it more than 300 times, he knows nothing about it?
No, he
He kn
knows, but he
but
never
that's
read it.
but that's
That's
not
my
yeah,
point.
but that's not
That's
what he
only my
said.
point.
He said, "I
Right.
didn't know
Oh, I
anything
know.
about
Well,
it.
he
I had nothing
lies.
to do with it." Meanwhile,
Right. We know he lies. We
HBK
knew he was lying when he
mhm.
said it. Nobody, nobody believed him who has a
Yeah,
brain.
well, exactly, except Trump supporters, but there you go.
Right.
You
Yeah.
qualified that statement.
Yeah.
And so Mein Kampf, Project 2025, Agenda 47, which is no
And you
version
know,
of Project 2025,
here's
he's got his own Mein
here's
Kampf.
the yeah. Here's the thing that is upsetting, to say the very least. When when they go after him and the maggots and the big beautiful betrayal bill about all these people who are going to die from AIDS, from horrendous diseases, from poverty, from all that, they don't care.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking, oh, good, that'll be more for us. So the argument that this big, beautiful betrayal bill is horrible because people are going to die, that's doesn't hit home
No,
at
right.
all. Because they're happy
Right.
about that.
Yeah,
So find another argument, and I don't know what it is. you know I don't know what it is, but the fact that people will die doesn't matter at all, particularly the people who will be
right,
dying. There'll be there'll be the disabled, there'll be the elderly, there'll be the gays. There'll be the people across the waters who die from all kinds of mosquito diseases and Ebola and all those diseases. They don't
right.
care. More for us. So I don't know what the argument is to inspire people to get rid of this way we're going. I don't see it. Do you? There's no other. Why would they care?
There's an astounding level of ignorance, and that's my point in all this is how it's following the rise of Nazi fascism to the T.
Mm-hmm.
So many German people were not anti-Semites, but were pro-German. So that's what outweighed the concentration camps, and that's why they were able to look away because he was still doing something for them.
Exactly.
Whatever it was he was doing, Hitler
Fewer,
was doing.
fewer gays, fewer disabled people, fewer poor people, fewer people, more for me.
And that's what started happening was the gays were gone, the Jews were gone, the
Mm-hmm.
blacks were gone.
Mm-hmm.
All he had left were blonde, blue-eyed Germans.
Mm-hmm.
And it still wasn't enough
Mm-hmm.
because now he started losing the war and he needed somebody else. And so he started blaming his generals.
Mm-hmm.
His master race wasn't master enough.
Mm-hmm.
Never was it his fault.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see anything similar to what's happening today?
It's it's quicker. as you said. They're going about this quicker.
And this is the whole, I forget what they called it. Was it shock and awe? Or what was the fact that they're throwing so much at the media?
Shock and awe. Yeah.
Was it shock and awe?
Mm-hmm.
The media doesn't want to keep up. I see them talking to senators and congressmen and cabinet members and Trump himself. What were you taught when you went to college to be a journalist? Because it clearly wasn't follow-up questions. Like, maybe you need to go to criminal investigator school and learn how to interrogate somebody. Because you're sitting there asking questions that you've given them. And then you turn around and tell your readers and listeners how you hold their feet to the fire.
Not so.
What fire? A flashlight? Because you're not lighting anything up. That's for sure.
Well, let me ask you, in all your wisdom, what is to be done? What is to be done? What is to be done that will be effective? What is to be done?
David Beckmeyer brought up a good point months ago. And I'm trying to reinforce this and to continue to push this concept to our listeners. And that is to have our side, a receptive one, a welcoming one, to use our own libtard terminology, a safe space for the MAGA followers to come to when they realize being on the MAGA side is a bad idea.
And I don't know. I just think it's going to be too late.
Oh, quite possibly. But now, at risk of sounding like my good friend Ray Schermerhorn, and being all philosophical, define too late. What does that look like?
I was just reading something this morning from Ram Dass.
Yeah.
That talked about the cycle. And part of the cycle is complete destruction. And from the destruction, something new will emerge. So, yeah. So there is no such thing as too late. Because what looks like, feels like the end, is really fodder for a new beginning.
So that's something. Remember, I've been saying that we're in a civil war.
Yes.
We're in World War III.
Yes.
And so few people want to accept that. This is the good thing, that our end and total destruction is not going to look like VE Day in 1945. It's not going to be.
Say that again because the sound kind of
okay. Our
yucky.
Total destruction, is not going to be exactly like VE, Victory in Europe, Day in 1945. A day that saw absolute physical destruction and death leading up to that.
Okay.
The MAGA Republican Party is already in its own civil war. Forget about the fact that MAGA versus the rest of the world civil war. There's the interior civil war going on now as well. Whether it's Donald versus Elon, one cat versus another, Elon versus Steve Bannon.
Okay.
There's a few.
Marjorie Taylor Greene against.
Yeah. Now she's on the outs. I think that's going to be that final destruction. One that sees the destruction of the MAGA.
They'll eat them. They'll eat themselves.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes. And that's my point, in that in this civil war,
that's interesting.
Us versus non-MAGA, never Trumpers versus MAGA, but also the civil war within the MAGA party, and also a world war that so many people refuse to acknowledge as well. It's all different than what we saw 70 years ago. It's not the same
because the world is different.
Correct.
The weapons are different.
Correct.
The weapons today are words.
Right. I've been saying that.
Right.
And Elon Musk, Gavin Newsom, people like that are the generals. And as such, that big destructive finish will hopefully not have to be an actual atomic
nuclear
weapon.
Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. It'd be much more subtle.
Of MAGA.
Wow.
I don't think it'll be subtle.
You don't think it'll be subtle?
I think it'll be ugly for what I hope to be the end of the MAGA movement. And let me also make two things clear about that. When Donald Trump won in November, regardless of how that happened, because there's also the conspiracy theories about that beginning to float around more aggressively.
Yeah. Yep.
I wanted nothing but the best for him, because he being a prosperous and successful president means we are a prosperous
and successful
country. Now, in 2020, having somebody from the MAGA side say that, they would have been told by their own they've got TDS.
Correct. That's the difference. Yep.
That would not have been a patriotic thing to say.
Correct.
And secondly, I presume, because I've been right about so many other things leading up to this, because you've said a lot of the same things, I presume that destruction is going to be of the MAGA movement, not of the American experiment and the Constitution and the Democratic Republic as we know it. So that that's, I hope, is the conclusion. And this gets back to the other three Reichs. Each one was shorter than the previous, which means compared to the Third Reich and the 10, 15 years that lasted, this one is due to implode, and it is. So think about the fall of the Soviet Union and the fact that the CIA took a lot of grief for not predicting that. I don't think that's what happened at all.
Well, you know what? You're going to have to hold that thought, because we are at the end of our show.
Yes. Well, I'll just finish it up with, I don't think that they failed at all. I think they saw the fall of the Soviet Union coming
and let it happen.
We're seeing the fall of the Fourth Reich coming, and we just sit back and let it happen.
Wow. Well, we will continue that observation and perception next time.
For as long as we need to.
But for now, I'm Jane Stahl.
And I'm Yergz.
And this has been Both Sides Now. Catch you on the way back. Okay?
Take care. All right, my dear. It was a pleasure.
Have a great week. It was fun. Thanks.
Jane Stahl is the host of the Be Inspired podcast, also the manager. Hi, Shady. Yes, we're going to go potty soon. Yes. Also the manager of Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, as well as the co-editor of the Boyertown Area Expression. You can find all of those three things.
And Bear Fever.
And Bear Fever. What would that title be? Manager, president, coordinator?
Mama Bear. Anyway.
The Mama Bear, the Jane of all trades.
There you go. Take care. Have a good week.
I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
And you can find, let me get my thing here. There it is. StudioBBB.org is where you can find Jane, as well as Boyertown Area Expression.town.news. Don't forget to call the Capitol Switchboard at 202-224-3121. So many things you could be telling them by now, whether it's, send a National Guard backing to guard in the nation, not Donald Trump, or, bring back the National Weather Service. Some very simple things. You can reach us all by going to News, NEWZ, at Yergz, YERGZ.com. Don't forget to, let me see if I can put it up here. Where is it? There we go. Download the Tone Tip app, scan the QR code on your screen, or go to tonetip.com. We didn't throw any out today, but I'll get some more ready for the week. And then finally, mastiff.media, now live video for the show notes, and other info. Go to mastiff.media, www.mastiff.media. That's it, gang. I have got a lot of work to do, as you know, and I'm going to go do that right now. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs and joining us straight up the middle. I'll see you tomorrow.
You've changed. You know this?
Yes, I suppose I have. How about this? Peace, love, dope. Now get the hell out of here!